Hyatt Regency Paris Etiole 3 Place Trois Général Conic 75017 Paris, France. Monday morning, September 30th, 2025. In the heart of the French capital, the body of South Africa's top diplomat lies motionless in the inner courtyard of one of the city's tallest hotels. Moments later, the call reaches both Pretoria and the South African embassy. Ambassador Nathi Nathi Mthethwa, a seasoned politician, former cabinet minister, and a trusted statesman, is no more. We retrace the events leading up to his death and present information that caused serious doubt on the official version provided by both the Pretoria and the French authorities. We aim to uncover the truth. Was Ambassador Nathi Mthethwa's death truly a suicide, or was foul play involved? Let's first get to know the man we are talking about. Nathi Nathi Mthethwa was born on the 23rd of January 1967 in Claremont, Durban, a tight-knit township in KwaZulu-Natal known for producing fierce thinkers and activists. It was the height of apartheid. The son of working-class family, he grew up surrounded by inequality, but also by a deep sense of community. He earned a diploma in the community development from the University of Natal, learning the language of empowerment and policy. Later, he would expand his skills with a certificate in mining engineering from Wits Technikon, now known as University of Johannesburg, and a certificate in communications and leadership from Rhodes University. Nathi Mthethwa joined ANC at an early age, becoming a leader within the ANC Youth League structure, the position he held from 1994 to 2002. In 2002, Mthethwa entered Parliament. Within 2 years, he rose to the chairperson of the Minerals and Energy Portfolio Committee, a crucial position at a time when South Africa was rewriting its mining policies. In 2008, he became Chief Whip of the ANC, responsible for discipline, coordination, and control in Parliament. For Mthethwa, loyalty to the party was not optional, it was instinct. 2009, Jacob Zuma rises to the presidency. Among his most trusted lieutenants, Nathi Mthethwa, now appointed Minister of Police.
Thina sizwe, thina sizwe, sikhalela, Tatwa, tatwa, maba uyege, maba uyege. Thina sizwe, thina sizwe. Tatwa, tatwa, maba uyege, maba uyege.
In August 2012, tragedy struck in Marikana, Northwest Province. Miners went on strike in Lonmin, demanding the basic minimum salary of 12,500 rands. They became agitated when some amongst them accepted a salary increase other than 12,500 rands. Miners went on to kill 10 people, including 2 police officers. Police issued ultimatum to strikers, and when miners refused, police opened fire on striking miners. 34 people died, the single deadliest use of force by South African police since apartheid. As Minister of Police, Mthethwa faced the Falam Commission. He took accountability, but questions about political interference never left him. Yes, Chairperson, I take full responsibility for the decisions of my department, Mthethwa answered. It will define his tenure and shadow his career for the next decade. In 2014, he was moved to the Ministry of Arts and Culture, a quieter portfolio, but one that still commanded influence. In 2022, he was to be shrouded with another controversy. He wanted to build a flag at a cost of 22 million rands, and there was an uproar which led to cancellation.
Comes to me. He says, President, please tell me when I can call you. So I say, that I'm in a cabinet committee meeting. We'll talk afterwards. So I call him back and he says, President, this flag thing, which is such a wonderful, initiative, it seems that our people are not happy with it. Karino, of course they are not happy. What should I do? Cancel this thing.
In 2023, Nathi Mthethwa resigned from Parliament and President Ramaphosa appointed him as Ambassador of France and Monaco in December that year. By February 2024, he had officially taken up the post. From politics to diplomacy, a full-cycle career spanning more than 2 decades. Within 19 months of assuming office, Ambassador Nathi Mthethwa will be gone. In or around the 15th of September 2025, Ambassador Nathi Mthethwa booked a room for 2-night stay at Hyatt Regency Hotel, Paris, Etiole, for the 27th and the 28th of September. He would later change from the 2-night stay to a 1-night and move back the date from the 27th of September to the 29th of September. September 19th, back in South Africa. Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi appears before Madlanga Commission, alleging political interference by Minister Nathi Mthethwa during his time in charge of South African Police Service. It was a rare public rebuke, a direct challenge to Mthethwa's record and his integrity.
His residence in Waterkloof. And when I arrived there, the Inspector General is sitting on one side of the table, Mr. Mthethwa is sitting on the other side of the table. The minister says to me that I forced the Inspector General of Intelligence to write the letter that says, Mkhwebi is wrong, this matter must go to court. She said, I forced her. Then I told her, I said, no, Minister, Advocate Khateb is an old woman. She's an advocate. How can I point a gun at her and force her to write a letter? Besides, when this letter was written in her office, and she actually is not the author of the letter. The author of the letter is Advocate J. Governor, who is an experienced prosecutor person who's working in that office. She's the one that drafted the letter, not you, not the Inspector General of Intelligence. The minister didn't want to hear any of that. A simple say, We must stop prosecuting Mdluli. We must stop disciplinary case against Mdluli. Now, if we talk about political interference, that was the worst I've ever experienced. At that time, Commissioner, I come from the specialized operation. The only thing I know is to chase criminals. And I'm promoted to become the acting national commissioner, and I'm confronted with this in front of me. And I said, but this is not what I signed for when I joined the police. This can't be right. The minister can't give me these instructions. Then I said to the minister, Minister, maybe you brought me into this position and you thought you were going to use me as a pawn because perhaps of my age or whatever, but you are wrong. I'm not going to do that.
Saturday, September 27th, 2 days before his death, Ambassador Mthethwa attended the Devil Wood commemoration in Somme, northern France, a solemn annual event honoring South African soldiers of World War I. He laid the wreath at the tomb of Private Mthethwa with respectful silence, marking the 109th anniversary of the Battle of the Devil Wood. Private Mthethwa is a South African laborer who died in 1917. Calm, formal, dignified, by all appearances, business as usual. It will be one of the last times he was seen in public. September 29th, Monday afternoon. At approximately 4:30 p.m., Ambassador Mthethwa left the official ambassadorial residence. He told his wife he was heading to a cocktail party, but it was actually to the 4-star 5,000 rand per night Hyatt hotel that diplomat went shortly after, about 4.5 kilometers away or 30 minutes drive. South African Embassy had no record of an official event at that hotel on that day. No driver from the embassy was assigned. Ambassador was alone. It is a diplomatic norm to assign drivers for all official events unless the ambassador decides not to utilize such services. Ambassador Mthethwa checked into room 2217, high above the city skyline. Four and a half hours later, at 9:30 p.m. that night, a text message left his phone. It was addressed to his wife, Pelisiwe Buthelezi Mthethwa, the one he married in 2013. He said he was sorry, that he intended to end his own life. It is likely that investigators will examine whether he consumed any food at the hotel. It raises the question, why will someone eat if they intended to end their life only hours later? The wife immediately alerted French authorities. A diplomat's security is the host country's responsibility. Within minutes, French authorities began a search in the wooded area of Bois de Boulogne, west of the city. Search yielded no results. French authorities, Pretoria and SA Embassy in France are all in panic. Top diplomat, South African first citizen in France, has simply vanished with no trace. The incident is likely to cause French embarrassment. Paris has a higher homicide rate than London. Paris region also saw an increase in homicides in 2024. September 30th, Tuesday morning. 11:10 a.m., a security guard made a gruesome discovery in the hotel's inner courtyard. The South Africa's ambassador to France and Monaco, Nathi Mthethwa, was dead. Le Parisien was the first publication to break this news, and other international media publications rebroadcast this news. Pretoria scrambled to contact its embassy in France but was not getting proper messages since Ambassador Mthethwa had left the embassy without following diplomatic channels. Within hours, confusion spread. On social media, ANC Secretary General Fikile Mbalula dismissed reports of Mthethwa's death as fake news. Hours later, South Africa's Department of International Relations, DIRCO, confirmed the tragic reality. DIRCO's statement reads, "The Department of Republic of South Africa announces with deep sorrow and profound regret the untimely passing of His Excellency Ambassador N.E. Mthethwa." In hours that followed, Pretoria will see a flurry of tributes from around the world. South Africans moved from fake news confusion to what caused Ambassador's death. The initial reports indicated suicide, but what is not being disclosed invite doubts. Now let's interrogate official version and see if it does make sense. Point number 1. Ambassador Mthethwa left official embassy residence at 4:30 and told his wife he was attending a cocktail party. Now, what is a cocktail party? Cocktail party is a social gathering for professional or networking purposes with a particular dress code. These parties are part of official events, and security detail would have been registered with the embassy. We know this was not done. Official registered event would have meant that the driver becomes available to drive the ambassador to the venue. We now know this was not an official event. In any case, he would have been accompanied by his wife if it was only a social gathering. How did the ambassador travel to the hotel? Was it with a taxi, e-hailing, or did he walk? Well, we know he would not have walked. The distance is just too long. It's about 60 minutes walk from the official embassy residence to the hotel. So he misled his wife when he said he was attending a cocktail party. And indications based on this are that he was attending something else other than a cocktail party. Point number 2. Ambassador sent a text message to the wife at 9:30 p.m. Let's remember he initially booked this hotel for 2 nights starting on the 27th and later changed it to the 29th just for 1 day. Now, when he sent that message, the French authorities responded appropriately, knowing that the diplomat security is the responsibility of host country. Now the question is, surely that was the message that was sent to the wife was not just that he intends to end his life. There is possible something more, or the wife is not being truthful when she said he only sent the message that says he plans to end his life. Point number 3, ambassador willfully jumped from 22nd floor window. Why would anyone book a room for 2 nights if the aim is to commit suicide? How did he know that he will get a room in one of the high floors? It is possible. At the Hyatt Regency Paris Hotel, you generally don't choose a specific room, but rather a room type and a view. This is what typically happens. You choose a room category, things like standard room, Eiffel Tower view, suite rooms, and then you select your preferences like king bed or twin bed, smoking or non-smoking area. Then when you visit the hotel or during check-in, they will allocate a specific room number based on the availability and your preference. So that's how the booking is done. In essence, what we're saying is you don't get a room number. Things like you can't say, I want to book 2217 or room number 3307 at the time when you're booking. You will only get that at the time when you're checking in. And even then, when you're checking in, they will look at your preference and the category, and they will assign you a room. So you don't choose a room up front. So in essence, how is it possible that Nathi was able to get a room in one of the top floors? By the way, there were still rooms available from 22nd to 34 floors. Why did he specifically choose 22 if we were being told that he checked in with the aim of committing suicide? It just doesn't make sense. That he could have booked only to be told that he's getting one of the rooms at the lower level. So in that case, what would have happened? By the way, as for falling from 22nd floor, people have survived from falling from 22nd floor. Why did he not choose a much higher floor to guarantee death? Remember, this is a 34th floor hotel. So they were about 12th floor above the 22nd. The windows also contains anti-opening window safety mechanism. That makes it very difficult to open these windows unless one has a special tool. And in this case, this is where it gets messy. We are told that Nathi Mthethwa brought a pair of scissors. The question is, why not use a screwdriver to guarantee the opening, since a scissor will not have guaranteed that? Point number 4, there was already speculation on the motive of suicide. Some people have tried to connect revelation at Matlanga Commission as a possible reason. This is definitely not the reason, since the booking to the hotel was done on the 15th and 16th of September, and Mkhwanazi only made allegations on the 19th of September, well after the planning. Point number 5, who actually made this booking? Did the ambassador book it himself or made use of embassy staff? When the search started, not a single person knew the whereabouts of Ambassador Mthethwa. Why would a person book for 2 days if the intention is to commit suicide? Why then change it to a day? Hotel rooms are always available. No need to book in advance. This already raises a red flag. And finally, let's address that big elephant in the room. Ambassador Mthethwa stays 30 minutes away from the hotel. He is living with his wife in Paris. Yet, he goes and book a hotel, a 2-night stay hotel. I don't know, but something tells me something is not right here. It is clear at this point that official narratives is full of holes and it is difficult to reconcile. We advance an alternative narrative of what possibly happened on that fateful day. On the 15th of September 2025, Ambassador Mthethwa booked for 2-night stay at Hyatt Regency Paris Etiole Hotel. He does so himself, simple because it is his personal matters and he doesn't want the embassy to be involved. He also doesn't disclose this to his wife. Partners that Mthethwa is meeting change plans closer to the time, and Ambassador Mthethwa is forced to make changes to his booking as well. He moved dates from the 27th to the 29th, and he also changed the period. Initially, he had planned to stay for 2 nights, that is the 27th and the 28th, but now he will only be staying for 1 night, which is the 29th. Ambassador Mthethwa still does not discuss this with his wife. He also doesn't share these details with his embassy. This removes any doubt about that this was a personal matter and not a South African embassy matter. This is precisely why the official driver services was not used on that fateful day. It is now Monday, the 29th of September 2025 at 4:30 in the afternoon. Ambassador Mthethwa dressed for the cocktail party and leaves the embassy. The details are sketchy as to how he left the embassy. Did he drive himself? Did he use the e-hailing or taxi? Did he use any of the available public transport in Paris? We don't know. Ambassador Mthethwa probably got into the hotel just before 6 p.m. Paris time. He checked in and the hotel allocated room 2217. Ambassador Mthethwa took the lift to the 22nd floor for the last time in his life. He probably made some few calls while waiting for his partners to arrive. They spent over 3 hours discussing their matters. Things are not going as planned. Partners are angry at Mthethwa. Mthethwa knows too much. Partners are afraid of being exposed. They will spend time in jail unless they do something about it. They decide to get rid of Mthethwa. Ambassador Mthethwa is now alone, surrounded by characters that will not think twice about getting rid of him. They threaten to expose him. It is at this point that he decided to come clean with his wife, unbeknown to him that is actually the final straw and will ultimately seal his fate. He writes a text to his wife, apologizing for all the pain he has caused. The text message leaves his phone to the wife. Ambassador Mthethwa is at their mercy. They share a drink with him, and it is at this point that he is being drugged. Mthethwa is still unaware. Mthethwa is now numb. They use a pair of scissors to force open the window, overriding the security mechanism that is inherent on those windows. Drugged Mthethwa is thrown out of 22nd floor window into the inner courtyard of the hotel. Ambassador Mthethwa is now dead, and no one knows about it other than those involved in his murder. The technique mastered in East Europe. The partners sneaked out of room 2217, evading CCTV cameras. Back at the embassy residence, the wife is triggered by a text message. She quickly alerted French authorities. French authorities arrived at the residence just before 10 p.m. She showed them a message coming from Ambassador Mthethwa. The wife doesn't know where Ambassador Mthethwa went other than the fact that he was heading for a cocktail party. French authorities activated their search protocol. The wife, together with the French authorities, called Ambassador Mthethwa's cell phones, and they went unanswered. The search was conducted in Bois de Boulogne. Everyone who has visited France or Paris will tell you the park is beautiful during the day, but what happens at night, it's something else. Authorities combed the area the whole night, but nothing came out of it. Back in the hotel, partners have slipped out like a thief in the night, leaving no trace at all. Perfect East European type murder is completed. Tuesday morning, 30th September 2025, 8 a.m. There's flurry of calls between Pretoria, SA Embassy in France, Paris, and the wife. South Africa's #1 citizen in France, Ambassador Nathi Mthethwa, has vanished with no trace. French authorities scramble to find an answer to avoid embarrassment. Diplomats' security is the responsibility of a host country. It is now looking like French authorities have failed to protect Ambassador Mthethwa. It is at this point that a narrative of one of Nathi Mthethwa's phone was found in a park started. 11:10 a.m. at the hotel. A hotel security doing his normal patrol duty was to make a gruesome discovery. A lifeless body of Ambassador Nathi Mthethwa. French authorities quickly moved from search of a missing person to an inquest docket. The story of a cell phone being found in the park is quickly changed to all cell phones are found inside the hotel room. No forced entry, pair of scissors were found, no signs of struggle inside the room. It is now convenient for everyone to declare it as a suicide. Both French authorities and the hotel are clear. It is strange that the hotel has not made a statement up till this day. A murder will affect both French authorities and the hotel reputation. Autopsy was quickly done and the report was quietly sent to the family. The official narrative was clear. Ambassador Nathi Mthethwa had taken his own life, but the evidence and the timeline tell a different story. Who checks into a hotel for 2 nights just to end their life, then remembers to move the booking to a later date? If Ambassador Mthethwa truly wanted to take his own life, he would have returned to South Africa and found another way to do it, one that spared his family greater pain. It is difficult to comprehend a veteran politician, a proud Zulu traditionalist, and a diplomat at peak of his career choosing to end his life violently in a foreign country. Supporters of the official version cite emotional distress and political pressure. Some even ventured into personal life, claiming that Mthethwa couples were going through financial hardship and the once glowing marriage was fading very fast. Forensic experts say suicide by defenestration is rare, especially in adults of his profile. If someone falls or is thrown from a height, we look at the impact angle, glass breakage, and toxicology. Was he conscious? Was he drugged? Those answers take weeks. The ambassador's body has already been brought to South Africa, but the police report has not been made public yet. South Africa and South Africans deserve nothing but truth. In a life defined by duty and service, Nkosi Nathi Mthethwa faced his final moments alone, or so we are told. But the inconsistencies, the unanswered questions, the silence from both Paris and Pretoria suggest otherwise.